Hello, hello. Why why do my audio bars look different today? They look thinner, which doesn't really make any sense. It also has no practical difference. They look slightly different. Anyway, we're doing some burner designing today. We have a couple things that we have to distribute throughout the base. So we connected most of the most of the fuel lines and stuff are done on the right side. We've done the fuel connections on the left side. Or not the fuel connections, but the distribution of like iron and such. Well, I think I have. Oh, these ones aren't part of trains. So these are not, they're not balanced like they should be, I don't think. But we still need to hook up the actual trains themselves. Ideally, these will all be shifted a lot higher. But it looks like we'll be able to put this one right there, and then we'll probably have like 4 right next to each other for all of these. So that shouldn't be a problem. We also need a stone train on the left. I'm not entirely sure how I want to do the rails. So like obviously I need rails to go here and all the way up and around. I strictly speaking, I don't need rails down here, but I feel like I should plan for rails down there, right? I'm not entirely sure how that works. Because like if I'm connecting outposts, I obviously want to be able to connect outposts down here. I don't really see a great way to get a train down there. We obviously can't pass through these either. Maybe it won't matter. Maybe once we go to this outpost, we just go here and then down and then down and then right. I'm not entirely sure. I'll probably just have to look at their... Actually, yeah, let's look at an actual base. What do I call it? Normal 100%? Yep, normal 100 design. What kind of rail setup do they have? Because I really don't use rails much. Although I know we don't really need that optimal of a rail system. It's literally just get stuff to outpost once and then we're good. They don't have rails on any of the southern side, which makes me think this is probably everything that's built by hand or connected by hand. Yeah, this would have to be the starter base, right? Oh wait, that's way too complicated to be the starter base. This stuff is the starter. Nope. Where is the starter base? Now I'm curious. It would have to be around here, that a section that doesn't have rails on it, right? I mean that would make the most sense. Oh man, look how nice and compact they can get there. They can even run theirs. They can even run their assembly machines with like 2 steel furnaces. Ooh, interesting. So they use a 4-to-2 ratio. So iron is actually overproduced here, it looks like. Just slightly. Because yeah, these definitely don't. Well, wait, which one's limiting here? 4-to-3 instead of 3-to-2? Yeah, so they should have surplus copper a little bit. Okay, I swear there is a hand-built base. Okay, there we go. Let's follow the blue science. Okay, so it's this section. Yeah, this is the hand-built mod. Okay, so these are built by hand. These are connected by hand, but built by bots. And then they start doing all the train connections on the other sides. So yeah, our base definitely just has a much different layout. Like we start our base in the right-hand corner. But the moral of the story is they don't have rails that go all the way down. They do have the ability to send this rail through, though. So we could just make sure we have something set up like that, and then we should be good. We might have to do some undergrounds to get rails past, but that's not the problem. Okay. So yeah, that just trying to figure out if we need to redesign a little bit of the early base. Okay, so the main goal for today is to try to get conveyors, inserters, and undergrounds. Those are the big 3. We can distribute other stuff, but honestly, as long as we have those 3, I think we're fine. So first things first. Wait, what is this? Why is space science going over there? What is this? What is this? Oh, oh, okay. I get it. Burner inserter buffs for 2.0? Yeah, exactly. I'm the only one who's going to get anything from Factorio 2.0. Also, I think I see the problem. It's funny because it doesn't buff them that much, but it buffs them a little bit. Like, I still have to have circuits for a lot of things, but at least I'll be able to start using red belts. I would be able to use red belts for sure. And then I probably will be able to do stuff like this still. I think there will still be issues grabbing diagonally from each other. Although with the faster extension time, I'm not sure exactly how it will work. There is a chance that they'll have more free actions. So that would be cool. Since if they spend less time extending themselves, I don't know if they'll use more fuel during the extension. Because I don't really know if it's like power or energy per distance problem or if it's an energy per time. Because obviously, they could have designed it either way. So there's a possibility they'll just have a larger internal buffer. In which case, that's actually a really big buff. Like if they could have like 5 free actions instead of 4, that makes a lot more things safe. Like stone would be a lot safer with that. That would be pretty cool. Okay, but I think I see what the issue here is. This is obviously one of these belts, and I just accidentally overwrit an underground. Overwrote. So yeah, it's a very, very trivial fix. That does explain why there is space science on this belt, though. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that is 6 belts. Now, these are going into trains. So realistically, theoretically, we could have a lot of stuff on the train. For inserter speed, I think we'll probably divide it into 4 items per train. Yeah, we'll probably do 4 different items per train. So that means 1 train, 2 train, 3 train. And by train, I mean, I guess more accurate would be wagon. So we're just going to put a little fake train stop here. Well, I say fake, but, temporary is a better word. Okay, so we have 12 items, so that's 1, 2, 3. Now, this doesn't account for the amount of each item we need. However, I doubt anything needs more than 10 stacks. Because this is for the outpost, right? Let's check that real quick. We have the outpost built. So this is 3 stacks of rails, or 2 stacks of rails, I don't know. 7 stacks. This is actually a lot. That's a lot of undergrounds. I mean, it's still only like 8 stacks. This one's close. That is 10 stacks. But yeah, it doesn't look like anything. Nothing here is going to saturate the entire belt. That's the main thing. Yeah, what's up, DNA3? Welcome. Welcome. Thanks for the follow. That reminds me, I can't actually see activity log right now. Hold up. Okay, there you go. Sometimes it resets. Sometimes OBS likes to delete the activity feed. I don't know why. But yeah, looks like we could probably reduce the amount of red belt pretty significantly now too. Well, I say significantly. We could reduce it from like 80 to 40, which is half. Like that's not insignificant. Inserters, we haven't actually done the inserter savings yet. But looking at it, we can probably decrease the inserter cost by, I don't know, 50. So yeah, I don't think we'll have any trouble fitting everything on the train. The only reason we have to do so many wagons in the first place is just because burner inserters are awful. Like, we can only put 2 buffer chests per wagon. I guess if we don't need a buffer chest, things are different. Because that is something we can consider. If we have these self-feeding and we don't use buffer chests, we could do like one. Ooh, but the buffer chest also is bot building stuff, right? I don't know if that's a good idea. Like, we could theoretically have a passive provider chest here, and then the buffer chests also serve as passive providers For that, I'll have to look to the experts, I think. Hell, Mike, there we go. Don't know how to read the first part of that. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, this is a long-running challenge I've been working on. We've done it before without blueprints. It was really fun, but I want to do it, in a reasonable time frame now. So we're designing the whole base ahead of time, kind of like with the actual speedrun version of this run. It's just going to be like 3 times slower because burner, 3 to 4 times slower because burner inserters are garbage. Okay, I want to see how they build their train. I don't think it's going to be that useful, but we can try. Okay, so they do actually use the paths providers here for bots being able to build stuff within the system. Okay. We can't do anything this dense. I love how they can fit it all inside their building train. I'm kind of jealous, actually. Working on it since Victoria 0.14, 12 years ago. Is that when they added burner inserters? Actually, when did they? Have burner inserters always been a thing? I feel like they would have had to be added at some point. Oh, 0.1. Okay, so they've definitely been around a while. It would be funny if they were the only inserter they originally had, but that would be a little bit silly. But like, I'm glad they've been around since I guess maybe if I had to guess, these were all they had initially, and then they made the others. Yeah, no, burners as the original would be crazy, but awesome. Okay, so this stuff is iron plate. Oh, they use iron plates to disable the station. Ah, that makes sense. They've been around from before electricity was invented. Exactly. Factorio wasn't actually going to have electricity initially. It's not talked about very often, but this was going to be the way the game was built. 100%. So Industrial Revolution and all those mods that add like an extra burner phase, those are really the original vision of Factorio. Yes. 100. Yes, definitely true. Do you think I can sell that lie? That's definitely truthful. I think there's a shot. Maybe. Okay, so I don't actually know what's on these belts. That's problematic. Okay, so we have 2 options here. One of them is to just set things up in a very generic way, so I don't have to think, which I think is the best option. And then the other one is to have things look a little bit different based on how many of the item we need. I'm feeling lazy, right? We've been questioning what's true and what's not for a while now. Yeah, the Monday run is it's starting to split and affect everyday life as well. Uh-oh, I made a mistake. You should not build trains and stage blueprint planning while you are in fact still planning. Also, what is this? Whoa. Why do these look different on each stage? That's weird. That's really weird. I've never noticed that before. How are rails? How are rail graphics decided? What is this? Huh, every other layer it seems like it's sunken into the ground. That's bizarre. Okay. It is not relevant to anything that's happening right now, but it is weird. Okay, so pass providers. The easiest way we can do it is like this, which might be lazy, but it is easy. That's what matters. Trees and rocks look different as well? Really? Okay. I always assumed stuff like that was based on what tile it was on. And like nothing else. Like if you place it in the same spot every time, it gets like a random graphic. Because I've seen stuff like that before. But this one's weird. That seems very non-deterministic. I doubt it is, but it feels that way. Okay, so this is the fastest way we can do it. This is 12 items. And then if we really want to, we can do an extra for the bottom one. Oh, actually, wait, we can do 6 into one train. So we could do 6, 4, and 6 pretty easily, I think. That's actually not too bad. So the ones that are 6 can be the high throughput items, and the ones that are 7 can be the slower items. That should work. Because these move really fast compared to, like, say, a fast inserter. So we need our inserters to move way faster than normal. Just because this can only move 1.8 items per second. Okay, that should work. See, they just have variations and they're random. Okay. But like that wouldn't affect going to a different stage, right? The thing that's confusing about this is why it looks different on the different stage. Like if it looked different than the one next to it, that part I'd understand. But it could just be the stage blueprint. It is kind of, I guess this mod is kind of hacky with some things, so it's probably just a result of that. Hello, bye-bye, welcome, welcome. Okay, so this gives us, this isn't actually, that's not actually anything. Hold up. Okay, let's delete this one. Okay, and then we decided we can do 6 here as well. So 6, 4, 6. We can also do 5, 5, 5. But that sounds annoying. That's really my only reason for not doing it. I think that's a good enough reason, though. There you go, because now I am curious. Okay. That seems fine. So this goes through, this goes through. Oh, that's actually, this is a fuel lane. Whoops. Oh, in response to that part. Weird Al Yankovic. Not what I expected. I thought it was in response to the other part of that, just a Factorio graphics comparison. When creating NTOS graphics variations, a random frame is chosen by the engine upon creation. Mod is creating same entity, same spot, but it's not choosing variation. Yeah, I guess there's really no reason for them to do that. It just like adds a mild consistency, but it affects literally nothing in terms of, you know, using the blueprints. So I could see why it wouldn't be designed that way. Okay, so this is 16 total. That's okay. So the ones that are belts, underbelts, inserters, and burner drills should have 2 chests. Or rails. Wait, am I sending rails up here? Hold up. I don't know if I'm sending rails up here. Rails are produced somewhere. That's not helpful. But it is technically true. But yeah, it's not helpful. Okay. Did we forget rails? Or did I mess up rails? Wait. This is going to the new one. We might not be sending rails to the train. Okay, well that's fine. I'll just leave a spot for rails. We'll have plenty of time to look at it later. I don't really know how they handle trains whenever they use the stage blueprint planning mod and when they actually design stuff. They might just keep the trains in a separate blueprint and repaste them before. Not really sure. Well, because you don't want the trains to be in every stage. So maybe they are just kept as a separate blueprint for that. I'll have to look into what they actually do. Because yeah, if you have a train in every stage, it's got to try to re-blueprint at every stage, right? Which would be bad. Unless the mod already accounts for that. Maybe it assumes you don't want to do that. Okay, it does assume you don't want to do that. Okay, so the issue is if the train moves. So really I just have to make sure I don't move the train. But other than that, everything's good. Okay. So I'm just going to be lazy. We're just going to hook stuff up fairly randomly. Honestly, yeah, this is really easy. I like the blinking of the of the station. I don't actually see a signal blinking, but I can hear it taunting me. Okay. You know what? Yeah, let's stick with the fairly random part. Why can't that be rotated? Jeez, why is that in such a low layer? What the heck? Why did I build these in 2.3? Oh, because I need these to build the base. Yes, that makes sense. Okay, so these should all be in this stage, actually. Not the train itself, but maybe the rails? Yeah, we can do the train itself. But if we're using... It's either this or we have passive providers early. But it looks like we already have passive providers early for a lot of the key things. But yeah, this definitely needs to be built early so we can use it. Which means we should probably work on entity savings here. Although, honestly, all of this belt, it's not a ton of entities. Okay, so that's 2. This is 2. Fuel should be easy enough. We can always rotate it. Yeah, fuel won't be a problem. Well, actually, it might be. We're going to have to take from, like, here. It's going to be a little bit weird, but I think we can make that work. Because we don't have, like, a later stage of solid fuel to take from. We want this to actually be buffering stuff. Okay. So that's 2 items. There we go. That's 4. Honestly, I'm very tempted to just do 4, 4, 4, and 4. Because the thing is, we do need to bring solid fuel too, right? So we could theoretically just put solid fuel in these trains. So I could do 4, 4, 4, and 4. That doesn't really decrease how much solid fuel I bring. We just need to make sure we also bring, I think, a boiler to empty the solid fuel, which sounds really weird, but it makes sense, trust me. We're going to need a lot of storage chests at each outpost, too. That's going to be annoying to get. Yeah, okay. Okay, I think I like 2, 2, 2, and 2 more. And then we could have a splitter here to fill the train, but deprioritized probably. I'm not sure actually how we're going to fill the train, because I care more about this stuff than solid fuel. Because the solid fuel is just to prime the station. Okay, so now that we have this, we can probably copy it. So if we just load from the bottom, I feel like consistency-wise, that just makes it a little bit easier to follow. And now this one we can copy up and be right there. Okay, so that should be good. It's loading to the bottom of each of them. Like I said, that just makes it a little bit easier to visualize. Okay, so now the connections are very clean. So there's 1, 2... I should probably turn these up earlier. And then this one can go through. I don't really want to go through because we do actually have to fill the outpost. Can that actually cut through? Oh, it can. Okay. So we're gonna keep tight corners, I think, as much as we can. And then I'm realizing now we have to add splitters to all of these to send them to the second outpost. Unless, ooh, okay. We could use this as a ferry. I don't think it's ideal, but it is an option. Because right now, this is just for the starting train, but most of these resources we want to use later and send them up here too. So we have a couple different ways to do that. The easiest way, not logistically speaking, for the train, it's not the easiest, but we could have this train go up there, empty itself, then come back down. The other option is a splitter after all of these, which is probably the one that I should do, because we don't really have a train network that can support multiple trains. So that would be a little bit silly. I just think the idea is fun. Yeah, we shouldn't have any problem with splitters here. Yeah, we'll be able to fit them. Yeah, we can just send those straight through. Fuel should probably come from the left side, because it looks like I have more space on the left side. Okay, so this is going to be 12 items. If I realize I still need rails, I can do another 4 up here. Okay, that should be fine. I love not having, like, filter... I love not having filter inserters or anything like that. Definitely makes things simple, I guess. Simple is definitely not the right word. Well, sarcastically simple, but it definitely doesn't make things simpler. Okay, so if we retrain contents, because I don't want, I obviously don't need like 10 stacks of rail signals. That's silly. Actually, do I need rail signals at all? Also, do radars go up here? I'm just kind of assuming I've set things up to all go up there. Okay, so radars do in fact go straight up. They don't actually, it doesn't look like radars share a belt with anything. Oh, never mind. They share a belt with red undergrounds. We don't use red undergrounds here anymore. So that needs to be fixed. I don't even know if we use red splitters. I don't think we use red splitters either. That's fine. So we are sending more. We do use red belt though. Is red belt coming over here? I don't think red belt is. Okay, so we basically just need to make it that this belt goes over here. Okay, this is what happens when you change the outpost design. Do I really not have red belt? Okay. Red belt not going towards train. Red belt not going towards train. Because that's pretty important, but I want to keep... And I need to keep a list. Okay, so these are, in fact, correct, right? Yeah, okay, so we do have rail signals. And that's why we want to disable the inserter if the train is full. Because rail signals, we only need like 3 or like 10 of. We don't want a full stack. We don't want to waste those resources if we can avoid it, especially when it's so easily. This looks to be set up properly. These are good. Yeah, it's really just we're sending the wrong kind of red belt. The issue is we don't really have an output here that works. So we'll probably have to switch this red belt or switch that belt with just a regular kind of output here. And then have a buffer chest somewhere else. Because I don't really see a vision where we output from these chests in the space that we're allotted. Yeah, because we kind of crammed those in there. I love how these are so inserter limited that we have to have 3 red belt assemblers to make them run at like 10th speed or something like that. It's pretty rough. Okay, I'm going to double check my outpost now that we're realizing everything is wrong. Okay, we do in fact not use red splitters or red belt. Yeah, okay, so everything is wrong there. And this is the outpost we'll use for all of them, right? We do technically have a slightly different coal outpost, but the coal outpost also doesn't use red splitters. So we should be... Yeah, it just uses 4. It uses a bunch of yellow splitters, but it doesn't use any red belt at all. So we'll send like 100 red belt to it, and it's just going to be wasted, and that's okay. We can do some entity savings here, but honestly, I think at this point, there's not a ton of entity savings. Like this right here, obviously free savings by just moving this up. But that's not, it's not super critical. Okay, so we just need to fix this red belt. Also, I like how these are still there, pointing and doing nothing. Okay, so it was stage 2.2, 2.3. Okay. I think I see a pretty clear line. If we just make an underground here, everything looks pretty easy. See, that's all we had to do. Well, I say it's all we had to do. It doesn't technically work yet, but it should be pretty easy because we can always cut through here, and then we can go up. We can go up again, and we can go up again, and we can't go up again, but we can almost go up again. We can almost go up again. So if we take this and we shift it up 1 tile, we have to prioritize it to the left because we need to make sure solid fuel goes through here. So this will take a while to run, but that's fine because we don't need that output anymore. So now this can go up a tile. Okay, perfect. So far, so good. This can free entity savings. Might as well do it. Okay, perfect. Now we still do need to get this red belt out of here, but we don't need to get it out of here for a long while. And we also have the rails that we have to get up. So we could probably piggyback off the rail belt for this, which will be somewhere over here. Because I think we 100% have forgotten to attach rails. Like, no, I don't think there's any question about it. We forgot to do that. We set it up. We don't set it up for a while, actually. I think we need to do a small rail production over here. Because I don't really see a vision where we get this early enough to start buffering rails for the first train. Because we set up all of this, I think, before we go to this side. So if we could just get a small rail production, probably, let's see, we have stone here, we have iron, we have sticks, we have a little bit of steel. We can cram something in here to start getting us rails. Again, we are using both kinds of signals. We don't use splitters. So splitters we could also send up later. It's like these are useless. Actually, wait. Yeah, this one is useless. This one isn't. We need a lot of these later. Like a lot later. Which makes me think, what if we just have them go over here instead? Because we need red belt and we need red splitters in our future outposts. And we need to supplement them from this. So for now, we could have these go left. And then these can also go with that belt. And that frees up this spot for me to piggyback rails off of. Okay, I think conceptually that's fine. We just need to figure out how to actually make that work. And we also need this red belt. So we're currently trying to shift this up. If we shift this down a tile, we have a splitter here. It's the wrong layer, but this should work. Okay, I think the idea is there. Okay, perfect. So this gets us a chest for us to store red undergrounds in. Or not red undergrounds, red belt in. And then it should be slow enough that it doesn't take all of it. We'll probably just have to have a chest limit, though. Because this is just for building stuff throughout the base. And honestly, we don't use a ton of red belt throughout the base. I think a grand total of like 1,000. And only like 300 before the very end. So yeah, we should be good. Most of the red belt we use is actually undergrounds, which already have their own dedicated chest for a while anyway. What I could do is make it that this doesn't output unless this is full. We'll put that in the to-do list because that will be like one of those optional things we do later. Always keep like 10 red undergrounds. Something like that. That song is oddly hypnotic. Yeah, this is the Factorio soundtrack, and I think it is it's hauntingly beautiful, I guess, is how I think of it. It makes you feel alone on the world, like you are in the game. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what the new soundtrack is going to be like. Because obviously they're definitely going to have to have something new, right? We could also just do this. Yeah, let's do that. I like that a lot more. It uses more entities, but it means that we at least have a 50-50 split at worst. Which is better than 100-0 in pretty much any situation. And this can still be limited. But yeah, there's a lot of output chests that will probably want to limit their output based on... Oh, wait, hold up. Am I expecting to use these in my outposts? I hope not. But yeah, we can limit the outputs based on how full the chest is. Yeah, this is one of those things where I don't know. if we're planning to use these in the future outposts. Because I know undergrounds and splitters, I have those calculations in the future outpost. I don't know about undergrounds. Probably not, because these are incredibly cheap. It would be kind of weird for me to justify sending 1 iron all the way across the base. Like 1 iron per second all the way across the base. Red, these are a little bit more expensive, but again, we'd be saving so little. These are a whole lot different because these are using like 2 full belts of iron. This is using like 1/4 max between the 3 of them, which is not a lot. Okay, so this one, this is the red belt. We don't have a good spot for the red underground now. I've decided it will probably go to the left. Honestly, we should just work on that now, I think, right? There's no point putting it off. I like how the layers here are fairly, I say fairly arbitrary. They are completely arbitrary. This one, we can do entity savings here. I think it's a little bit too early to do entity savings for this section. Because most of the entities we'd save here are partial undergrounds, which get a little bit pricey. This one would be worth it. And then this one can obviously just be extended 1 tile. Yeah, I think full undergrounds are worth it. Partial undergrounds, definitely not. Now this means I can't output from this belt, but I think we can assume that I will not be outputting from that belt. Okay, so how do we get splitters over here? That is the question. I think we can do something like that and go through. That seems relatively easy to me. Actually, that worked really well. And then this needs to go on the far side. So now we just need to sideload this. And that gets splitters out of there. That was incredibly simple. Like I'm quite pleased with that. Okay. So now we need to buffer them. So we could do something like this. And this. So now that we've split them, oh, okay, if we just do 1, it should be pretty easy. So let's actually, well, this one's already being buffered. Okay, so this one's being buffered here. We'll say output red underground greater than 5 or 10. That's not that much, but at least will mean we prioritize our main base over the new base. Actually, we could probably make it like 50. Let's do 40 because I don't know how much we'll buffer. 100? I don't know. We'll do 50 and then the internal buffer will be based on something like that. I don't know exactly how that will be. It would actually, you know, logistics. Hold on. This would be more useful though. If we connect it to the circuit network. No, if we connect it to the logistic network, it can read the other chest. We don't really have other chests. I'm trying to like plan for a scenario that doesn't exist. I'll just do this. That's actually quite a lot. 50 is. But again, this is really just supplementing the rest of the base, so I guess it doesn't matter. Let's do 10. I don't know. Well, we'll have other buffers. The issue is that most of the stuff is going to be backed up on the belt, which actually is kind of expensive if it's not being used for anything. That's why I want to have this be somewhat deprioritized. I think the issue is we just need to make it that this is built a lot later. So we'll do red belt not going towards the train. That one's fixed. Red undergrounds and splitters move to stage 5. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Like, these do not need to be shuffled around the base. We do not use them in high enough quantities for me to care about their location when the cost of them being on the belt is so high. Unless we do something really weird with undergrounds. With circuit networks to make it that we have like a counter, but that doesn't seem worth it. Okay, and then that means we only have to worry about a splitter here. And then it looks like our easiest option here is to just have one section. Am I excited for 2.0 burners? I mean, they don't They haven't announced that much about them that's going to change, right? Like the only thing that's different with the new build is they go a little bit faster to grab from belts. But I mean, I do think the changes are nice. Oh, that's true. The filters will be well, even the filters. I'm gonna say I'm somewhat excited. I don't think either of these changes are going to drastically fix burner inserters, but they definitely make them a little bit better, which is still something. So yeah, we can call that a win. Okay, this works. Yeah, that works. This is this is literally just so I can get splitters, because we don't have enough space to do a buffer here. And then we'll probably chest limit it because one stack of splitters is a lot, but I don't think it matters that much. Yeah, it doesn't matter. By the time it does matter, we're pretty late in the game. And this will be backed up anyway. So yeah, let's not worry about it. And then we'll filter this with the fish. Because fish, I always know, are not supposed to be there. But yeah, the filters seem nice. They'll be great for buffer chests for like a sushi mall. I think that's the main thing that I would love filter inserters for. Because I would absolutely love to reduce this down to one sushi belt and then just filter them all with filter inserters at the end. Like we still, I mean, theoretically, I could still do a sushi belt. That's not inherently a problem. And in fact, it might be a good idea. I could, but it might require counters. No, it doesn't require a counter. It just requires me to have multiple seconds of latency worth of extra storage. It'll move burner inserters from terrible to bad. Okay, yeah. That's that yeah, as long as that's our expectation. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. It looks to me like this is not supposed to be a red belt. So why do I have a red belt here? Probably just for saturation. I don't know. I don't think it does anything. We'll leave it. No, we'll delete it. I don't think it helps with saturation at all, actually. I think it does when it comes to like outputting from a furnace, but outputting from a side load, it shouldn't make a difference. But yeah, that's a reasonable goal. I can get behind that. They won't be as awful as they were. And that is a fact. Oh, also unloading trains. Unloading trains actually is a very good benefit of them. Because we can still do the setup we're doing now, where we cycle the fuel around. Except it doesn't fill itself with as much fuel each time, which is nice. So I do like that part. I like the ability of not actually emptying the solid fuel out of the train when I unload the iron ore. It's a very small victory, but it is a victory nonetheless. Okay, so this is now... These are both being stored. I don't like how we're wasting so much stuff on the belt right here with these red belts, but... There's not a ton I can do about that. I mean, I could just move the buffer chest over here. Yeah, we can just build this. Let's see. We can like activate this way later. Yeah, there's options. You plan to use sushi belts a whole lot more in 2.0 with the whole belt readers. Yeah, the whole belt readers seem really nice because then you can just say, hey, I only want 500 entities on this belt, and then that's all. It removes all of the combinator part of it, which is the part that I struggle with, the part that I always struggle with. Like practically speaking, I don't think the whole belt reading is going to be that much different than using like a memory cell combinator thingy, but it's a whole lot easier to set up and way easier to make changes because it can't break if you have a separate inserter accidentally sideloading somewhere else. And you'll be able to do it with just belts probably, right? I imagine no inserters necessary. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be simpler. Okay. So we still don't have these, but I think we fixed it, so we are now getting red belt. We still need rail, and rail needs to sideload onto whatever this one used to sideload onto, which was this one. So we're gonna put a combinator here. Actually, no, let's do an infinity chest and say, hey, I need to get rails over here because I have no idea how it's gonna happen, but we need it. Okay, now train stops I don't need to send, right? I could ship them, but it looks like we've already planned for not shipping them, which makes sense. That would be silly of me. Pumps. Pumps we don't need for this outpost. We might need them for the future outpost. So I'm going to leave this here as a note and actually write a note because I don't entirely know how we're going to set up the fueling for the new outpost. Pumps for GC outposts, question mark. There we go. Just basically trying to get a to-do list for later. But this works well. We need to actually activate it so that way I can see what's building. What's the issue? Okay, a lot of issues. It doesn't have fuel, doesn't have copper, doesn't have power. Why does this have iron in it? Oh, probably from when we were moving belts around. We sideloaded a bunch of stuff. If we rebuild the stage, we might be good. Yeah, we just need to rebuild the stage. Okay. Also, we have a lot of blueprints. We need to start getting rid of them. But first things first, electric energy interface. And then we do have the flying power grid, which is a little less broken than I forget what it's called. The power grid from the mod that breaks everything for me. What is it actually called? What's the editor extensions? I could think of double E. I knew it had two E's in it, but that was the extent of my knowledge. Oh, we still need to put roboports everywhere. How did I forget? Yeah, we still need roboports. That's a pretty big to-do list thing that we're missing. Okay, I'm assuming this had a similar issue, right? Yeah, we just broke it at some point. So that's an early layer. We'll just do that. Actually, let's not do that. Let's do this because I don't know how the compressor will look yet. Okay, we should probably disable most of the layers. That way we can actually speed this up. We're testing on stage 2.2 right now. No, 2.3. Because we just need to get an idea of what's on each belt. Okay, there we go. We should be able to speed it up now. Oh yeah, that's way better. Yeah, it doesn't like when there's five stages at once. Who would have thought? Okay, so that somehow is dead. Oh, this is built the wrong way. A very easy fix. But that is... Ooh, actually, this is risky regardless. Okay. I might add logic to this one. Or we can add a splitter. Let's do a splitter. Okay. Yeah, that should work. Having two inserters grab diagonally from each other isn't great. It usually works out, but I do try to avoid it if I can, because it tends to be a little bit problematic. That is a lot of boilers, considering I only need a total of like 100. It's crazy to think that this boiler assembler is going to shut off at some point. Maybe I should have it buffer stuff elsewhere. Okay, so this isn't getting any green chips, practically, so this has some issues with its setup. Oh, right. We should have just rebuilt the stage, actually. Oh, wait. Oh, that's going to make the... Well, that's fine. We have speed up. We can make it go almost 10 times faster. Okay, well, that's a great sign. Definitely showing me that I messed up here with the fuel distribution, which I was aware of. Actually, I was aware of that. Okay, so Not a problem. We do need to connect these all with coal, because we might have logic somewhere along the lines that uses coal. But yeah, the reason it's not going to be an issue is we're supposed to have a second fueling belt here, which we are well aware of. And then probably another here, but this is when it starts to use solid fuel. So we'll like sideload solid fuel somewhere here. So let's actually use solid fuel. Actually, that would be a good spot. Where else can we do it? Here? Okay. Because I don't think we have anything using coal logic after this point. And if it does, we can give it... Oh, we do actually give it... Wait, we give this one solid fuel logic. Where does this get solid fuel from? That's problematic. Actually, where does this get solid fuel from? Have we not connected fuel to this? We have not connected fuel to it. Okay, well that's easy. So we know it's only got to have solid fuel because we're literally giving it its dedicated belt. Okay, that does make sense. That seems like a design I would do. Also, it's gonna be fun realizing I completely underestimated the amount of power poles we have. We need when I have to go and place like 10,000 of them. The entity cost is gonna be a lot higher than I expect. Okay. Things are still not outputting on the belt. Have they started fully? No, these aren't running. Okay, that explains a lot. Is it just a fuel shortage here? If it's just a fuel shortage, that's not inherently an issue. Okay, yeah, this is just a fuel start delay time. Now this one's just straight up not connected. Okay, well that's easy. Yeah, it also in these tests of just like pasting everything at once when you rebuild a whole stage they're not an indicator of startup time. Because they're assuming we're filling like 5,100 billion belts at one time, which is not the case. That drastically changes things. Okay, so we definitely have too many furnaces here, but I think we knew that. Because it changes, yeah, once we get stack size 3, it changes to only like 12 of these running at once instead of 13. That's because they start being inserter limited. So that should be a problem. Okay, so the belt's starting to fill up. Should be pretty clear now what we have to split. Perfect. So this is just splitters. Splitters to the left. I wish I could mark what was on the right. I think I might use a constant combinator here. I know this constant combinator is useless, but it tells me what the other item is. Because I want to be able to look at this and know what's being placed without having to... Oh, wait. I know what we can do. We can also just mark the inserters. This is rail, this is splitter. Because I'm assuming this is going to be rail. Rail, splitter. There we go. This way I can look at it at a later date and know which one is in fact correct. And then this one's rail signal. I wish there was a better way to do this. I mean, there kind of is, but setting circuits is always just a little bit tedious. This is such a weird combination. Okay, and then we have radars and underground belts. Sure, why not? That's fine. Not artillery remote. If only... Ooh, it would be pretty cool if we could use artillery. I mean, we technically can use artillery. It's just not useful in this kind of run. I don't think. Yeah, I'm going to go with no. It's not useful. Okay, and then we got transport belt for this one. And then this one is underground. That should be fine, right? Yeah, that seems correct. Okay, so there's nothing on these two belts, which means we definitely do not have those set up correctly, right? Yeah, these are not hooked up properly. Huh. How though? One, two. We have 6 belts going through. Where did we accidentally cut off? This one also is not hooked up. I think this is the one that used to be splitters. So yeah, this should be splitters and other splitters. So this one is good. This one's good. This one's good. This one's empty. I don't know what this belt is. I have no idea what this belt is. Wait, is this rails? No, this is bots. This is bots. Okay. I remember now. We do send bots to the outpost. I don't think sending bots to the outpost is that useful. It's one of those things that we can do, but I don't think it decreases the build speed that much. The reason we want to ship them though is because it makes it that if I forget, they still build. That's really all that boils down to. Because I can also just drop 50 bots on. But considering this is red chips and bots, that makes me think that this has a free space on it, and then this has a free space on it. So we do have plenty of space to send rails through. Honestly, we could still send rails and keep these on the original belt they were on, because it looks like we have 2 or 3 free spots. Hello, Boots. Welcome, welcome. I feel like we're missing... Yeah, we're still missing... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But this has 6 connections. Right? Okay, what is this one? This one is the far end. Okay, so this one's the bots one I was looking at. And then this one should be... Okay, I see it. This is 1 tile too low. That's all. This should fix it. Okay. I think we're good. Did I edit that on the right layer? Yes, I did. Okay, everything should be good now. So this will be burner inserters and burner drills. Perfect. Burner inserters, which we need a lot of, and then burner drills, which we also need a lot of, but actually we need them in roughly a 1-to-1 ratio. And then this one, we have bots, and then the other one is unsure actually. We'll put bots here. Do I need roboports? No, roboports I should be bringing. Oh, power poles. Why did I just say power poles like I need those? I need like 2 power poles for the entire outpost. Well, actually 1 for the single roboport we have. That's all. Yeah, never mind. We don't need that. Okay, well that simplifies it. Honestly, that does simplify the outpost a lot. Oh, actually, ooh. Wait, we need power poles distributed throughout the base. Power poles through base. What do we use in our outpost? Not this outpost, the other outpost. I don't think we use regular power poles. So we need power poles throughout our base for building our base, probably. But I think we designed our outposts for the circuits using medium power poles just because they're easier to build later. Or no, substations. I'm assuming we're powering them all with substations. Because I do not have medium power poles or regular power poles accounted for in that recipe. Actually, we're not making medium power poles at all. I wonder if that's a problem. There might be a problem. Anyway, this is looking okay. They're out of fuel, but that's not a problem. Okay, let's look at the... You know what? Instead of just having to switch to a different layer each time, why don't I just do this? And then what can I make this? Ores? Yeah, that's pretty clear what this is supposed to be for. Like, hey, this is an ore outpost. There we go. Okay, this is good, this is good, this is good, this is good. We don't have this one, but we know where it's supposed to go. This one's good, this one's good. Chests. We need chests here. Technically, we don't need chests. We might need boilers, which sounds weird, but theoretically, I think we should be using boilers in the outpost. And then chests will be, well, It's not that hard to bring my own chests, right? Like, I don't even need this many. Because if I'm bringing storage chests for unloading the train, I might as well also bring iron chests. Like, I don't think that's a problem. Wait, this uses 2? I thought this was designed with 1. Is this an old version? I think, oh wait, this is the old version. This is the wrong outpost. I know nothing really changes, but there should be an outpost. Oh gosh, I don't know where it is. I think it's in here. Yeah, okay, this is the new version. Which, yeah, no real changes here. We actually have to redesign this one because of our building train. Because our building train looks so dumb. But yeah, this one does have to be fixed a little bit. Now we could make our building train a little bit smaller. But if our building train has fuel on it, we can kickstart the outpost. So that's why our building train, I think, is going to be 4 long. We only need it to be 2 long to have enough inserters to fill it. If we really tried, we might be able to do 1 long, but that's pushing it. Yeah, no, I don't think we can do 1 long. But we could definitely do 2. It's not great. 3 definitely is an option, though. 3 is enough, and it allows for about 4,000 solid fuel, which decreases the start time by about 5 minutes. If we want, we can make it 8 long and decrease the start time by way more, but that seems a bit silly. So now we need to figure out how we get fuel out of the train, though, and onto this section. If that is in fact how we want to do this, which still might be a rough option. I think the main issue, actually, getting the fuel out won't be a problem, will it? The biggest thing is going to be getting the bots out. Okay, I think I see the vision. So the train that has bots in it will have to have a slightly different setup. And it will probably look like this. Something like this. Because we need to make sure if it unloads in a weird order, the bot always gets to a chest that can go to a robo port. And then the boiler will be here. And the reason we're using a boiler is it acts as a fuel filter. So this lets us get fuel out of this. So this would be like the first train. And then the second train, depending on how many storage chests I can want to use, can just look like this. So this does use a lot of inserters, and it does use a lot of chests. I probably don't need that many chests. I think it might actually be better. This isn't terrible. This unloads fairly slow. What's the start delay for this? Worst case scenario, if the trains are not evenly filled, is about 1,000 entities divided by 1.6. So worst case scenario, this takes 10 minutes to unload all of the undergrounds. That's actually pretty bad. That's not worth saving 2 chests. Worst case scenario now, this takes 5. We can work on distributing stuff a little bit better too. That is 100% an option. Honestly, this might not decrease the build time that much. I guess either way, it's going to be messy, right? Yeah, I think we can live with this. Let's paste this. Let's place this over here so I don't forget about it. But this is roughly what the build train will look like, and we can paste it wherever. So this should be able to access 3 trains at once. Let's see. We place a cargo wagon, wherever that will be. We need to shift it, but I think the idea is there. Okay, there we go. So something like this. We can always shift this up and down as needed. I guess since they're not taking from the same station anymore. Doesn't really matter how it hooks up. Okay, so this is all right. Now the issue is, can we get this to unload correctly into the one train we have? That's my big concern. Because right now this doesn't have a ton of flexibility, right? Yeah, this doesn't have a ton of flexibility for where that goes. What if we placed on the other side? That isn't great. Okay. So if we want to fit everything within a single Roboport, that definitely complicates this design a lot. See, this is for that station. I might have to do a bigger redesign on this section than I thought I did, or thought I was going to. I thought there was like one section I could have be straight. This could maybe just go a little bit straighter. That might work. And then we can still fit the boiler, I think. Okay, and then 3 would be here, and then I think we can grab from that corner. So this might work. And then we go into the boiler. Ooh, was not accounting for that being there. Okay, so we have to shift this over. Which again, I think it's not a problem. A little bit more annoying than I would want it to be, but definitely still an option. Let's see if they fit all. They all still fit within the Roboport. Okay, so this spacing works. We accidentally broke this, but that's okay. So building train goes here, then it goes back home. This part's scary, but they shouldn't be able to stop in this signal with how it's... Yeah, they shouldn't be able to stop in the middle of this X, so I think that's okay. And then output here and here, and then we can just make the line pretty straight. Okay. Technically fine. Does not decrease the start time by a ton. However, we can do a splitter here and then route this back to the center. This only starts half of them early. Maybe it's not worth it. It honestly might not be worth it. I really like the idea of it, but we can't really get enough inserters on the building train without spending way too much on storage chests. Because ideally, the way I would empty it would be into like 6 chests and then that into 6 boilers. And that fills up a belt fast. This doesn't fill up a belt very fast. So it's almost just not worth doing. Does that change my design at all? No, not substantially. It basically just removes the boiler aspect of this. Because we still need 3 trains. Can this grab from the corner? I don't think it can grab from that corner. It can grab from here. Or it should be able to grab from there. I guess I could test that fairly easily. So if the locomotive is here, 1, 2, 3, and then I think it's double-sided. Yeah, the building train should be double-sided. Okay, that's fine. Okay, it can't be there. It can be up there if I want it to be on the same side. And these 6 will bring by hand. Okay, that looks good. Okay, I can live with that. And then the only power we need to bring is the one big electric pole here, which will connect wherever. Okay. I think that's the only power we need. And we still need to remove a lot of these inserters, because I think we can make do with... I think we can make do with 8. I think that's what we decided. 8 is good enough, because this can't have any more than a half belt of ore. Or it has like 0.8. No, 8. Not 0.8. It has 8 iron per second, roughly, at full speed. which is, well, let's see. 8 inserters times 1.2. We're assuming one's backed up, so let's round it down to 6. How that is pushing it. But maybe it's fine. Yeah, I think it's worth it to do 4. I feel like the savings are pretty significant. Because over the course, let's see, that would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 28. That saves a grand total of about 600 inserters. Which I don't know how much that is. I think that's about 10 minutes of inserter production. Something like that. No, 5 minutes of inserter production. That's, you know, not, it's not 0. But yeah, it looks like we won't be sending fuel. Let's not worry about fuel. So we will make the assumption that a 3 long building train is good enough. I am happy with that assumption. Considering the electricity can make do with, you know, 1, I think we should be able to make do with 3. Now, I can also make it 2, right? Actually, no, hold on. We need all these, we need all these, we need all these. If we don't bring these, if these are something we bring on our person, because we could do that pretty easily. This doesn't increase the build time of the outpost by that long. If we just build these by hand. Oh, then we need to bring all the rails, because you can't... Can you place them on a ghost rail? I've never really had to do that. That might change things. If I can place them on the rail while it's still a ghost, then maybe it's fine. Like, I know bots can place them first. I've never tried on person. Because then I don't necessarily need to bring these. Then that makes it that I can fit all of this in a single 2-wide train. We can't go lower than that. I think because of how many entities we have. Actually, maybe we can. What's the entity cost? That's the wrong thing. That's not going to help. Okay, that's 6 stacks. This is 8 stacks, so that's 14. This is, wait, is that right? 6 plus 8 is, or no, 6 plus 8, yeah, 14. And then plus another 6, that's 20, plus another 10, that's 30, plus another 3. That's 33, 34, 35. I don't know why this is there. Okay, 35 is not awful. Yeah, 35 isn't terrible. We don't have a waste item to activate the outpost. We definitely need to set that up. Don't know how we'll set that up. We can just put it in everything. But either way, we're up to 35 stacks. Now this one's pushing it. This is pretty close to 7 stacks, so we will have to say that's 7 because of inserter stack size, depending on how we want to set it up. With circuit logics or filters. I guess we can do a circuit logic and a filter. No, that doesn't work. Well, it does. No, it does. It's just annoying. Okay, so we could fit all of this in one train if we really wanted to. Oh, and bots. 1 stack of bots. Honestly, with bots, we can just round them down. Do like 45 if I want to get them in a hole. Get them in 1 stack. Okay. So, well, let's say we're up to 36. If we bring these, that's 38. And then we need fuel. So 2 stacks of fuel should be sufficient. Yeah, because they're only going into like 8 inserters. Now this right here should work as long as the solid fuel is emptied pretty evenly. I might want to do 3 stacks of solid fuel just to increase the odds that they get solid fuel here. I mean, worst case scenario, we get 4 bots. It still builds. It would take forever, but 4 bots would still function. And then we're probably not always going to be getting 300 drills, so that Well, that doesn't decrease the cost. We still need to send 300. Okay, let's... If I want to make the train smaller, we have to put solid fuel. We have to put fuel on each of these belts. And that means we have to have the buffer for bots somewhere else. I don't love that. It doesn't benefit me to have a smaller building train. I think that's what it boils down to. It doesn't make anything simpler at all. It saves 2 cargo wagons. That actually, yeah, it saves 2 cargo wagons. That is not worth... that's not worth it. Yeah, final decision. We will not have these be self-feeding. Okay, now we somehow need to get coal over here. That's the annoying part. We could get it from here. A little bit ugly, but it should be fine. Okay. And then if this can go straight... Okay, I think I see the vision. Okay, we clear this by going under it. Now we don't have a problem curving here. Awesome. I built that on the wrong lay though. Okay. And now we have a fairly easy stretch. Cool. And then I know I've been saying solid fuel. It looks like we're going to be bringing coal. Not a problem. It doesn't really change anything because we're not priming it. Now, if we were using the solid fuel, that would be a different story, but it doesn't look like we are. Am I building these on the wrong layer? No, it's hard to tell sometimes. Because like belts, it will kind of let you make conflict sometimes, but the other stuff it doesn't. Okay, so now we just need a splitter going through all of these, and I think we're good. Now I think this is what I was talking about earlier, where if we connect on this side, it will make some of our future things harder to do, which is a problem, but not a huge problem. Some of those technically are problems, but I don't need to worry about it situations. Oh, we could also just snake it through the whole thing. Actually, let's do a snake. Because I want to be able to get... We need splitters here. So if we do the snake, it gives us a lot more room, I think, to do the splitters. Yeah. Okay. No, I think that's better because it gives me the space over here now to pass the resources through. And then I feel like space-wise, if we come from the left, it makes a lot more sense. Or come from the right, it makes a lot more sense. This feels like it blocks less, basically. I don't know if it actually does, but it feels like it does, and that is important. Can I move this up a tile? No, I cannot. Okay. Awesome. Solid fuel is now snaking through. Everything is grabbing fairly safely. We can now fill a train. And then this is built pretty early, so it should build in time. And then we also need to fill the train with the coal. So that's the main hurdle. But it doesn't seem like it'll be that difficult because we have the snake. Yeah, not difficult at all, actually. This goes here. We add a splitter. We add a splitter. And we add a splitter. And then we're actually going to output prio. Because it is definitely more important for us to get these filled, I think, than this. Yeah, because these are moving a lot more items than these are moving. So these only have to move like 50 items. These have to move like 700. So we want these to start earlier if fuel is low. Okay, and then we also need to fill the wagon. If we cross a little bit earlier, that's really easy to do. It feels weird using... feels weird using coal here, but I don't think it's that bad to use coal for a train, right? For a train that needs to run once every 10 minutes, it's not going to make or break anything. Now we do need to figure out what exactly we do with the circuit logic with that one little like random item we send to say, hey, stop building. It can't be coal, it can't be stone, it can't be wood. So those are some of the obvious things we could send. I mean, it's all about disabling the outpost, right? So the main thing is we want to send something that can't get there any other way or ever be like emptied. Because if we use a rail, technically we could accidentally use the rails for something else. So we want it to be like some junk item. Like a piece of steel could work. Steel's pretty close to here. So we just put like one steel on every train and I think we're good. Or not every train, but in one of the cargo wagons, basically. And that will deactivate/activate the outpost. The only issue is that's actually... Well, is it too late? Nah, I don't think it's too late. It should be okay. Yeah, I think it's fine. The main reason we build this so early is just so coal gets there, and also so we can start buffering inside these chests for bots to build stuff with. But I would prefer a different junk item if I could, like an earlier one. Like we could take a piece of copper. Copper's not that hard to route over there. What else? Coal we said doesn't work because we can get that from a train. Yeah, I think copper is probably the easiest option. I could do a copper and fuel belt. Yeah, that should be fine. So the easiest thing we can do is just split this. Wait, what's over there? That's an underground. Okay, we're fine. Okay. This is going to be annoying to try to build, but it's fine. This might work. Although it is side balanced weirdly, which I don't love. So what if we... Oh, if we force the side load first, though, then it can take from each side. Okay. I think this solves the problem. And then wherever the last train is, we can also have this be here. Like, this one can add the copper and the coal into the train. Okay, that should work. Because most of these... We'll also have chest filters as well. Or we'll have the whole train be, like, filtered for everything it doesn't need, along with having logic. And that's because the filters will make it that we can't accidentally put the wrong thing in it. And then the logic is to make it that we don't have to put 50 rail signals inside a single chest, or like 50 splitters, because those do add up. Or even worse, 50 radars. That's not useful. I don't need 50 radars, like, at all. That would be silly. Okay. I wish we could measure how much we're producing. Also, I don't know if I have enough inserter capacity for this. I feel like these are backing up. Well, these ones probably won't, but these might. So we actually need to double up on some of the chests. Okay, so we can't do the lazy approach here. This one at least needs two... We need 2 inserters for burner inserters. Yeah, this doesn't work. Same for... Well, actually, underground... Same for belts. Undergrounds are probably fine with 1. Because we're saying we're moving 1.2 items per second, right? Is 5 minutes fast enough? Honestly, this might not work at all. I might have to not do buffer chests, just so I can get a fast filling speed, which is ironic. I feel like buffer chests are supposed to help with building speed, unless you're using burner inserters. You know what, we'll come back to that later. Building train. I think we just need to make the building train larger, honestly. Larger for higher throughput. Fill speed is in the minutes, right? So the worst case scenario is 700 or 670 belt divided by 1.2. Worst case scenario is it takes 10 minutes. Fill speed is 10 minutes. That's really bad. Yeah, that's way too low. I don't know why we don't have any belts on this. Oh, we do. And that's the other thing. These belts, these buffer chests also are the buffer chests that cause our bots to build stuff. So those are also important that they are placed. This isn't all our rails, right? No, okay, we're building way more rails here. I was like, this is not going to work out. This is a lot of undergrounds that don't go anywhere. Why am I not buffering undergrounds? This is a mistake for sure. Yeah, this is so many undergrounds. Why do we have new underground production here? Okay, so obviously our easiest choice is to sideload this up top. And that gets it to the train. That's probably our best bet. So we need to shift this over here. We'll add a splitter. We'll add a prio because this is never going to be underground limited. Okay, now we should be able to somehow sideload up here. It's like this almost works. Like that's pretty close to working. We built that all in the wrong layer. But other than that, it's fine. Okay, so that basically works. We just need the side load. We just need to flip the belt somehow. What if we do this? That doesn't work. Can I filter these? Technically, no, I can't. I was gonna say technically yes, but that would actually be wrong. I can't believe I just have these completely stagnant here. These ones are good at least. These ones get buffered later. That's fine. I feel like I definitely need earlier red belt. I mean, it's not earlier. It's just closer. We don't have a ton of red belt being used over here, right? And most of it's going to come from down here. I guess it's fine that it gets shipped up. Yeah, this is 4 belt assemblers that were just completely idling. Because they didn't have a place to go. Right? So that's in the gears. This one also goes here. Is this maybe wrong? Is this not supposed to be a gear belt? No, that's definitely supposed to be a gear belt. Okay, so yeah, we just messed up. That's all it is. This underground is in the way. This underground is in the way. So that eliminates any easy option for side loading. I could theoretically sideload here, right? I think that is the easiest option. And by sideload, is that actually what I mean? Let's check. Gears are on the right-hand side. So we need the annoying side. Okay. Change of plans. Let's filter out early so it doesn't matter. There we go. Okay, so now it has belts and undergrounds. And it will prioritize these ones, which is good because these get more dedicated iron. Whereas if this stops consuming iron, more of it goes over here, which I think is important. We'll find out. There's definitely some rebalancing that could be done. Okay, and then now these, theoretically, don't produce a whole belt, right? I mean, technically they could produce a whole belt if they were running full speed, but they're running at like 40% speed tops, right? Like it can't be that high. Yeah, that's pretty significant idling time. 70% maybe? If I'm being generous, 70% uptime, but it's probably like 50, which means all of these combined is 4.5 gears per second, or red undergrounds per second. Okay. Yeah, now we just need to distribute burner inserters at various points. We have some down here, right? Actually, do we not? Am I not buffering burner inserters here? Really? That seems important to do. Well, fortunately, it is incredibly easy to set up, right? Nope. Never mind. Well, I mean, it still might be easy, but it's not as easy as I wanted. We could do something like this. I guess it's not that important for this to be set up early. Because we also have the original. We do still have the original underground production. Or we do have the original burner inserter production. Stage move tool. That works. Let's get fuel from over here. Makes more sense. Okay, that should be fine. This will give us everything we need for bots to build. And this doesn't move fast enough to saturate the whole belt, so I don't think we'll have an issue there. Because theoretically, these can produce 6 per second. And because these aren't that inserter limited, they're actually pretty close to 6 per second. It's probably like 5 per second. Then this is producing 1.5 per second. So we clearly have way too many inserters. But I guess we need more inserters than we do burner drills. Because most of these are going to be used in... I guess half of these are going to be used in the base. We just need 1.5 to go towards the outpost. Also, wait, this produces 1.5 per second. Which means each outpost will take 3 minutes to build. That's not too bad, actually. That's assuming these run full speed, though, which... I'm only going to be honest, I don't know if they do. These ones are probably pretty close to full speed, actually. Because they do have a lot of inserters on them. Okay. So that means 200 seconds per outpost for the burner inserter production. That is perfectly fine. Or sorry, not the burner drill production. That is 4 minutes for a single drill outpost. I think if I'm somehow building outposts more than every 4 minutes, we have more things to complain about than being slightly low on burner drills. And this looks like I just didn't limit it on the correct layer. That's an easy fix. Okay. And now there's copper here. Awesome. So this will let us put some dummy resource inside the base. Now, it will make the startup time a little bit lower, but we have it sent so early, it's not a problem. And it will also slightly starve solar panels, but only for the first, I'd say 2 minutes. That's fine. I doubt I need these solar panels ASAP. I mean, I do need them pretty early for the exoskeletons, but they're not that important. Now, these don't seem to be running. I don't know why. I'm assuming it's lack of power. I think anytime something's not running, I can assume it's lack of power. That's a fair assumption. And then this has some entity savings that we completely forgot about last time. Like really easy entity savings. Less of a pattern than I wanted. I feel like, yeah, this could have had a pattern, and then we reached the random side load, and that kind of ruined our ability to keep a pattern. And it's not like this is a lot of entities either, so it's not... I guess I overstated how useful this was, but hey, it is still entity savings. It probably saves like 100. Those add up over time. All of the various 100 entity saving sections we have. And then this middle section we can't do anything about. This section, sure. Easy full belt. That one doesn't really have much it can do. This is free. Yeah, okay, that's free. We might even be able to save one more, but I don't know what side of the belt this is going on, so we can't really utilize that. If I move this up a little higher, theoretically we could save a couple more entities, but we also move it up higher, which uses more entities, so I don't think that's worth it. This doesn't need the double underground. In fact, We can even remove this one. Actually, maybe now the underground's worth it. Nope, it's not. Let's just use 2 entities here. There we go. Okay. Hopefully that was all on the right layer. It's really easy to accidentally place belt on the wrong layer. Cool, so these all need to be limited to... Actually, these need to be stage 2.2, right? Yeah, all of this belt needs to be way earlier. How am I going to do that? You know, maybe I don't need it earlier. Because the difference between 2.2 and 2.1 is nothing, right? Yeah, we don't actually have... We don't really have a 2.2 right now. We have our entire mall, and we have everything we built by hand in one blueprint. So if we are waiting on this, we're making the assumption that most of these resources we don't need right away. Radars we don't need right away. Red belt, we have another production of that somewhere. We could do a red belt chest earlier as well, which we have. Perfect. It's just in the wrong stage. Okay, so that's done. And then, okay, so red belt should be good. There's no way. Whoops. That was supposed to be rate calculator. It says it produces 3 per second. I highly doubt that. We do have the analysis zone mod, but it doesn't work because we're looking at the wrong stage. Okay, let's see. How fast do these actually run? Because if these run at 50% speed, one inserter works. If they run at half speed, one inserter is enough, basically. If they run any faster than that, which they do actually run faster than that. That is surprising. Okay. That means we need 2 inserters going into a chest to have these run full speed. Because these aren't used anywhere else. Okay. So these are going into a chest. These are going into a chest. We could double up the chests somehow. I don't know how. Actually, no, I very much do not know how. Hold up. Ooh, this works. This works. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. And then this one moves down a stage. Now, if I could put them into the same chest, that would be fantastic. And technically they can, but only when it backs up. Which I guess is fine, because this is supposed to be supplemental. So maybe, yeah, we can live with that. So this puts them in the same chest, which I do really like. This one, maybe I should only have it run if this chest is empty. I don't know. It might be worth it to go and replace a lot of red undergrounds with regular red belt, because I didn't realize we had this much red belt production early on. Like, that's a lot of red belt. Like, 3 red belt per second is more than enough, considering we only use 30 in the outpost. So that makes me think for unloading, red belt savings is... red underground savings might be more important than red belt savings. Another option, we could theoretically add more red undergrounds. Like, we could build more red undergrounds here. Because if we have the regular undergrounds, and we have the gears from this, I can probably make the assumption that we have, then we can get more red undergrounds. I don't know what the ratio is. So let's see, red undergrounds use 5 gears for 8 tiles. These use... Or sorry, these use 8 gears for 8 tiles. Oh, wait. Are these cheaper? Oh, no, they're about the same cost. Right, red undergrounds and... Forgot about that. Red undergrounds and red belt have basically the same cost per tile. I think this is like 5% cheaper. But they use basically the same amount of gears, and the cost of the yellow belt going in is negligible, which is why they're so similar. So yeah, we just need to convert one of these to an underground assembler, I think. And then we should be good. Convert 1 red belt to red underground assembler. or just add belt assembler. So I don't want to do that now because I do have to double check to make sure we don't actually need these red belts later. We might need them for our actual outpost. In which case I would just add an assembler at the end as opposed to replacing it, which would be a little bit messier. It would work a little bit slower, but we could get something functional just to get us some extra red undergrounds. But we need to do some calculations before I do that. Just basic math. Okay, offshore pumps we don't use in high enough quantities for me to ship them anywhere. Roboports we don't need to ship anywhere. This is going to be really annoying. Anytime I go to build an outpost, I have to grab from this chest, and this chest. that might get annoying. I love how inserter limited these are to where I actually have 2 wagon assemblers, because these build really fast. But our inserters are so slow that they do not, in fact, build fast by any definition of the word. Okay, so we have established that I need to split off these. So let's start doing that. Okay, good start already. Now, I don't think burner drills need to be throughout the base. We just need the burner inserter here. So I would actually rather do this. Okay. And then these are actually good. And then I think these are the only things that we need in such high quantities that I can justify this kind of design. Then I'm just going to try to waste the entities to get them realigned. There we go. Because these we don't need throughout the base. Red belt? No, red belt we need throughout the base. Radars we don't. Actually, radars we do. Never mind. Never mind. We do need radars, but for a much different reason. It's because they go towards the rocket. Okay. Construction bots and rails. Or wait, oh wait, which one has rails? This one has rails on it, right? This one should be rails. Okay, so these need to go throughout the base. We have a little bit more space if I do a splitter here. There we go. Yeah, that should be fine. Maybe I just have to use an underground. And then we split off this. Okay, theoretically, that's possible. I don't see the vision completely, but there definitely can be one. We could use a red underground to get out of this. That's an option. What if or we could go to the right. I think going to the right is easier. I also built it on the wrong stage. Actually, all of these are on the wrong stage. This is like a stage like 5 sort of thing. Well, this one is. The rest aren't. I guess, do I need rails throughout the base? Splitters, honestly, I don't even know if I need splitters throughout the base. How many splitters does my base use? 1,000. So 1,000 entities isn't a ton. Although I might need the splitters up here. Actually, yeah, we need the splitters later. Rails. Let's see. Rails are going to have a total of about 20k entities. Not 20k, sorry, 2k. That's way lower. Also, rails we can speed up pretty good on by hand building. Although I don't think we'll have to do a ton of that. Okay, so these 3 I know I need for sure. These ones are optional. This one is not optional, but this one's just a much later design. So we don't need, it's not that we need these to go through the base for now, but we need them to go through the base for much later. And then red splitters, red undergrounds are over there. Is there anything else we missed? No. And then bots. Yeah, bots I don't care about. Actually, we'll be sending bots to the new outpost. So we do actually need a splitter here. Never mind. We can sideload bots with the burner inserters, probably. I don't think that'll be an issue. Okay, so this gives us rails, burners, splitters, conveyors, and radar. So the radar just needs to go up here. So let's do that real quick. So it comes with the rocket silo launch. So that's like a much later stage. I feel like I should be leaving some space in case we need to make this a fourth train. I guess I'm not that close to it. Any reason I have copper on those? So the copper is something that you can use to like disable an outpost. Just anything that you don't necessarily, anything that you can't naturally get to an outpost, you can send. So like I don't want rails to like mark that an outpost is complete because I might actually spend the rails. But if I ship out copper, it tells me, hey, that outpost has gotten its building materials already. And then it disables the outpost. So my next train doesn't have to worry about, going to that outpost again. If I were to use like burner inserters or something that we're already shipping and we accidentally shipped like one too few, or if it accidentally used those for a nearby outpost later, it could, reactivate the train. Which wouldn't be the end of the world, but it's better to use the free item. Or an effectively free item, if we can. Because we'll only be sending like a single copper. But it basically just disables the outposts and enables the other outpost. To say, hey, you can start sending your fuel train now. I doubt it's that important, but it decreases the margin of error a little bit. Okay. So if we just connect this here and we filter out a radar, I think we're good. Okay, so that should be getting radars. Well, eventually we'll be getting radars. It's not right now because this stage is disabled. Okay, we have to keep like going down to different layers just to check where things are. Okay, so these are building inserters. I guess my concern here was, is it filling the train or is it just emptying the belt? Because as long as I just have chests like farther along the way, maybe we're good. I don't know. Burner inserters are so slow. I'm struggling to actually empty the belts when I need to. So I think I need to just accept that I'll be wasting a bunch of inserters. And that's fine. They're cheap. Just something I gotta get used to. Okay, so this one is not necessary to ship throughout the base. So this is a late stage thing. These 3 belts, though, these need to go throughout the base. So the middle is technically not close to anything, but it's not that far from anything. Because right now we have distribution points here, here, and here, roughly. So this part is a little bit far, but that means it's only about 200. Honestly, this is only about 200 tiles. So I think as long as we have a chest within like 200 tiles of anything, we're good. Well, at least for the high ticket items. That's because the closer we can put things, the better it is for bot build speed. But we're also limited by the fact that burner inserters are awful, so it's very tricky to get things closer to bots to build. So we're just trying to find like a nice little balance, basically. So let's move this to like a higher stage, probably like 3.1? No, 3.2. No, 3.1. We need to start buffering them early. Okay, we'll do entity savings later. Maybe. Can we go through that? Yes, okay. I have to check in a different layer to see if it's an underground. Although I'm pretty sure undergrounds have a different color than regular belt. I just never... Yeah, like these are all slightly different. I just kind of forget to check. Like this is an underground, so that means I probably can't... Nope, never mind. Never mind. I was going to say it means I can't go through there, but that is incorrect. Okay, hey, I might just need more belt production. Like, we have space here and here. It might be worth just making more belts, because I don't actually know if we have enough belts for my base. I think once we have the whole base up and running, like fully done, we'll just do we'll do not a performance test, but we'll do a benchmark of how much we're producing. and just kind of roughly estimate if we think that's enough. Because most of my belt assemblers are produced by shortly after we get bots. So I just have to kind of make some guesses for how long I think bots to the rest of the base will take. And just say, like, let's just say it takes 2 hours. Then I just have to make sure I'm producing 5 belt per second, which is actually a lot, but I don't know. We'll just need to work backwards, basically, once we have a more accurate goal. Once our base is fully designed. Okay, so this seems like we should probably have a go a little bit farther, but maybe here works. This looks like a decent spot to offload some resources. The issue is we don't really have fuel here. Ooh, wait a minute. Okay, so right now we're shipping construction bots on there. That seems silly. I think the construction bots can wait. Because, like, what we were doing now is we're saving belts later by placing more earlier. But if we put fuel on this belt, I think we're in for a better time. Yeah, okay. I think I see the vision. So now we just are we're bringing coal with us. That makes it way easier to set up these belts because there's just always going to be coal there. Yeah, I'm fine with this. Okay. Much nicer. So now we just have a splitter we can use. And now this does add one more belt later, but it decreases the amount of belts we just have to take from the side. So yeah, it should work out. So now we filter out the burner inserters. And then this one we filter out the undergrounds. Actually, let's do it this way. And now we can go straight through, I think. Yes. I think I've got this. Underground. Then we fuel it. Yeah, okay. I think that works. And now this can go here. We don't need to output from it. That's silly. That kind of defeats the purpose of a buffer chest. And then maybe I feel like there's a great spot. Like this could be pretty dense. That's actually pretty solid. And then it goes around. And then connects back up. So this is something we can maybe copy paste. Let's see, that works. This one works. This one, oh wait, never mind. This doesn't work. Never mind. That can't get fuel. I mean, technically it could buffer like 4 could buffer like 4 undergrounds. That's not that helpful. Okay, I think maybe I should do this instead then. Those should be fine. They do kind of fight for the coal there, but I think they're okay. I don't know, it is only half a belt of coal. Fighting there isn't great. What other options do we have? I'm just trying to make, well, okay, let's assume it's going, maybe it'll help if I assume it's going in one direction. Then we also need to recombine stuff at the end, so I might actually have these on the wrong side. Okay, so conveyors are on the left. That's all we need to know. Conveyors on the left. Perfect. These on the right. Yep, that's accurate. This doesn't work. I'm realizing this, because this just ends, then we stop sending coal through. Okay, well, if we're stopping sending coal through, then that means it needs a redesign anyway. Can I shift it? Maybe it works better like this. And then we use a splitter here to send the rest over here. And then This so much space used. So much space used for burner stuff. they're not efficient in any way by any metric. Okay. I think this works. I might be able to make it a little bit denser, but honestly this isn't, for what it is, this is fairly compact. Which is a weird sentence because it doesn't look compact at all, but yeah, no, it's fine. Now theoretically, this coal should pass through and then it should end up back on the belt on the left side still. Burner is on the right, stays on the right. Conveyor's on the left, these are on the right, so they side load correctly. Okay, that's fine. And then because this is just for building, we can limit it to like 2 stacks of each, probably. Should be fine. Because we don't want to drain from the belt too much, because then that starves the stuff down here, which we don't have that much of it, but occasionally we build things, you know, much lower. So we don't want to take all the belt. But that's why a small buffer should be fine. I think if our inserters were faster, we could make do with 1 slot, but because our inserters are slow, I think we actually have to do at least 2 or 3. Yeah, this is something we can at least copy and paste. Okay, and then... oh gosh, this barely... yeah, okay. It felt useless because like we're only moving it 100 tiles, and I forgot we have to do this entire section up here as well. And it looks a lot more useful when I consider that fact. Okay, and we'll just keep building them. We'll just have these built super early. Why not? Okay, and then I feel like we can just cut through here, no problem. Now this is half the stuff we need to bring through, so I don't think it's got to be that big of a deal. But this might be really annoying later. Because yeah, well, okay, this is, I mean, this is half of what, I'd say this is half of what we need to bring from here to here. So it feels annoying, but we only have 2 more belts that we have to pass through our entire base, I think. I was thinking we had to bring another 6 again, but rail signals, we don't need rail signals at our new outpost. I don't think. Radars we don't need either. Maybe we need radars. I don't know. But I feel like most of these stuff we can leave behind. Obviously not bots and rails, which we still haven't actually hooked up properly. We probably need to do that at some point. Okay, it looks like the next obvious spot we have for a buffer is right up there, which I think shouldn't be too bad. So we just need to move it to the left again. And by left, I mean right. Basically the same direction. If you ignore the fact that they're opposites. Okay, I'm assuming these undergrounds are horizontal. Yeah. It would be cool if we could get arrows there. That would make this a little bit easier to visualize. It would be such a niche addition, it would be useless, but right now it would be immensely helpful. Okay, so now we're gonna have issues. So now I think we need to split them. So this one needs to go to the right, and then this one can just go through, because we have an underground already going that direction. The only way to fix that would be to use belt weaving, and honestly, not worth it. Okay, looks like we made it just fine, though. Yeah, I don't think we cut through anything. And then we could flip this, right? No, we can't flip this at all. Like, it's genuinely not possible. Okay. But that's fine. It fits. We just need to move it over 1 tile. Okay. That is... those are decently spaced out, honestly. Like, obviously, this isn't a great central location for bots. But I think it's better than nothing. It would be better if we could have one over here and one over here. Like, to have them more towards the edges, but... it's okay. We'll survive. It's manageable. That's what matters. Okay, and then we'll go up one more tile, then we'll switch to a new stage. I think once we have more staging, this will make a little bit more sense. Because I feel like a lot of what we have right now looks like it's useless because we build this and then all of this appears magically, but once we split this into like 5 stages, I think it will look more helpful. Because the 100 entities is going to just seem, or the 100 entities we're buffering is just going to be a lot more relative to the amount of entities when the amount of entities is smaller. Because yeah, our stages right now are like 5,000 entities each, maybe 10,000. It's not staged properly. Because we really only have like six stages here. I know it shows 10 or 11, but yeah, it's not. They're not very well distributed for me to actually say we have that many. Okay, let's do one here, just because this lines up well. No other reason than that. It just looks like it fits here nicely. Okay, now we go to stage 5 or 4.3. Okay, and then this is the final one we need. Okay, so this is actually the end of it. So we might be able to just end it here. And then these continue on to the building train, which kind of annoying. The building train's gonna be here. I guess that doesn't really matter. Yeah, I guess this building train goes once every 10 minutes. I don't know. In my mind, it seemed kind of suboptimal for it to have to go to the top of my base each time instead of the center, but it really isn't. It adds like 15, 30 seconds to the trip, maybe. Really nothing compared to the 30-minute start times the outpost has. Okay, and then these will continue on to fill the train. Perfect. Okay, those weren't actually as tricky to set up as I expected. The main thing is it helpful? Do we have them frequently enough? I don't know. Because this is a pretty large base. There is a very good chance that in our first, we will just be shuffling belts around places. Like non-zero chance that we just have random pass providers that I can throw stuff into at any given point to help things build. Because right now we don't really have a way for bots to help here. Although it's not, I guess it's not that far. It really feels like a lot farther. But I guess it's only 400 tiles. That's not a ton, right? The range of a Roboport is half that. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so it's like... Wait, what? Oh, is that the total range? For some reason, I was thinking that was the area in each direction. Okay, so never mind. It's like 4 Roboports to go across. So we have to travel like 2 Roboports distance to get to a chest. That makes it seem a lot worse. I guess as long as we have enough charging, we'll be okay. Because the main thing is it doesn't really matter how far the bots travel as long as you have a lot of bots. Because that is something to consider. A bot going from here to here to here, on average, doesn't take that long to build it. Unless you care about, like, unless this has to start 5 minutes early. So it really matters that these build fast early on. But then once we get to this point, nothing here produces more stuff for bots to build, I don't think. Except for this one. But that's the last thing we build. Okay, I think we'll be fine. Basically the point of that rambling was it doesn't matter how fast things build whenever the only thing we're getting from it is science, effectively, is what I'm getting at. It matters a little bit, but it's not crucial. Whereas like getting this production up and running fast does matter. So this one we want to have a ton of Roboports in. Because this is the final mall, most of the mall for like the rest of the run. I really do want to have a small belt production over here. It looks pretty simple to set up. Oh wait, we have belt production over here. Should I be using it for something other than science? Let's see, this consumes 1.75, this produces 3. But that might be okay. But they're iron limited. So we'll say it produces 2.4. We technically do have some belt here. It might be worth buffering it. It's pretty simple to do. We are in map mode. Of course we were in map mode. If you're in map mode, whenever you click stages, it switches to where your actual like player is, which gets pretty rough. It can make you lose track of the base very easily. I usually am better about it. Actually, that's a lie. No, I get off a lot from it. It's a very easy mistake to make. Okay, I guess this works. Look at that. We have a buffer chest for conveyor belts. Now we could prio it, but honestly a 50-50. No, let's do an output prio. Actually, is this a pure belt? Let's check that first. It is a pure belt. Okay, so we're good. But yeah, this whole setup right here, if we had filter inserters, it would be way easier because we could just have like a sushi belt. Or actually, I guess it wouldn't be that much easier. We would need 3 belts the whole time. It would be a little bit easier, I guess. We wouldn't need this split. That's the only thing that would change. This splitter, I guess, yeah, we wouldn't need the splitter. We would still need a splitter for coal, but we wouldn't need this splitter, and we wouldn't need it to take up that much space. So we would instead just snake the burner inserter belt through the other belt. So that way they aren't self-feeding. Actually, well, how would that look like? I'm actually curious now. This won't matter until 2.0, but I do want to know. So obviously this, look at that, it's done. And then this other belt is here. We could have something like that. Then the other belt here. Maybe shift it up. And then that would need to go through. Then we could shift this up again. And then maybe it'll work. Something like that. I mean, it's technically smaller. Actually, yeah, it's like half the size. This technically works. The only downside is this can technically brown out, so this would need logic on it. But other than that, it works. We would just shift this over here instead, probably. Or here. Or here. Ooh, there. There we go. That's decent. So you wish editor mode was locked into map mode. The non-map mode position just seems like an inconvenience. I kind of wish it was the other way, but I grab from belts a lot more than people normally do, I think. They could just add, if they added that functionality in map mode though, then yeah, that would fix it. Because I don't think there's anything else you can't do in map mode, right? I know you can't grab from belts. Maybe you can't enter trains. Don't know how common that is. But I feel like both of these are functionality they could add. I guess, yeah, that's probably why I do stay in map mode most of the time. The movement speed is pretty significant, especially when you're UPS limited. And still trying to like speed stuff up. doesn't like moving in that case. Okay, so this is all right. I wish they were distributed a little bit better, but it is still better than we had. Because yeah, this is still bringing like 10,000 entities closer to where they need to be. Or 20,000 entities are now 1,000 tiles. My base isn't 1,000 tiles high. 400 tiles closer than they would have been. Yeah, those will add up. Okay. Then there are a couple other belts we need to drag through. We had like a weird splitter belt somewhere down here, right? We stopped it around this point. Yes. Okay, so this needs to go all the way through the base. I guess we might as well just take care of it now. So this one we don't need for a while. So we'll say it's a stage 4.3 thing just for belt travel speed. Because this can spend, while this is building, these can just be traveling. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I hope, ooh, maybe it would be cool if they added some more editor tools in the expansion. Because like that doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility, right? Because there are definitely some things that editor extensions, I think, could do in the base game that could be utilized in the base game. Like infinitely long. Actually, you know what would be even better than just infinitely long or really large power poles? Just a button that makes things not have power. Why isn't that a thing? Is it because people... I guess it might be because most people care about power poles locations because they have things other than assemblers that need power. So that one might be my own quirk kind of problem. I don't think that's a universal issue that people have. So maybe that changes things a little bit. But I run into it a lot where I need power to test my build, and the only thing consuming power is like one assembly machine or like a roboport. Okay, this is a little bit messy, but that's okay. 4.1, that's fine. Okay, now we're... Okay, now it's a bit uglier. You know what? We're going to accept the belt weaving. We're going to embrace belt weaving, and we're just going to say we're going to use red belt all the way up. Starting here. Because this is a very easy thing to pass through if we can use red belt, even just a little bit. I don't know how that got turned around. Actually, I think I know. Okay. There we go, one tile to the left. And you know what? Maybe we should have this built earlier. The belt delay on this is going to be like in the 10-minute mark. Actually, that's not that high. Never mind. Let's not worry about it. Okay, back to underground. And we should be good here. We can call that good. Awesome. We need to add a combinator maybe to tell me what's on this belt, or like an infinity chest. Either one will work. Let's see. So this one is fast and fast. Okay. There we go. That should make it pretty clear what this belt is. Okay, and then this one we can stop sending the coal through right around here. So I'm actually going to truncate this. Because that's close enough, right? Like there's no real reason to bring this a little bit higher. Especially when we're going to have... Especially when we have pass providers that are going to be literally right here with all of these in them. So yeah. The next section can just be... We'll have to do a fuel belt early, but the next section can just start filling the train, and we can use these resources. Okay, so again, let's use infinity chest so it's pretty clear what's on here. Side doesn't matter that much right now, but that's burner inserter. This is transport belt and underground belt. Okay. Now we're not passing splitter. We have not passed splitters through yet. That was something I decided I can do later. Okay, so I think splitters are on this belt, right? No, what's shared with the radar? Ooh, red belt is shared with the radar. That's actually very important. Okay, so red belt shared with the radar. And then splitters are shared with rails. Rails we need to send up here. Right? Well, okay, technically they're not shared with anything right now, but I think they'll be shared with rails is a more accurate sentiment. There we go. Okay. And then I think what we'll do is we'll just add a prio that either stops filling this train or deprioritizes that train. Then we shouldn't have any issues with wasting resources later on. Okay, so we have splitters, rails, bots we need. Radars we don't need. Well, technically we need them, but most of those will just be on our person. Oh, we need 2 building trains, don't we? Huh. Because actually, how does 100% do that? Because I know they have the building train that builds the green circuit outpost, and they also have a restocking train for sending out resources for starting outposts, right? Like that's a thing. Honestly, I probably not. I don't care that much about that. But what train do they use for bringing stuff to their person? Do they have a third train, or do they repurpose this one? I feel like repurposing this one seems viable. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, that shouldn't be an issue. I don't like how it's got to be a 3 long train that we're sending to refill ourselves, especially one that's powered by coal. But it's not the end of the world. What should we call that anyway? Player refill train? Repurpose original outpost train, I guess. That should be fine. I don't see a reason to have a third one. I mean, we could always just build a third train up here too. Like that's not an issue. We have to get roboports up here. Well, okay, technically, do we need roboports? I feel like roboports are something we can have our own bots build. And then I'm going to make a list of what we need to send to the base still. Rails, red belts, splitters, construction bots, roboports. Send through base. Actually, this should be... What if I put them in the description? That makes more sense. Yeah, let's just do a bolded list here. Rails, red belt, roboports, signals, maybe. I don't know. Pretty sure the player supply train is different from the outpost building train. Not sure about the backside building train. Gotcha. Yeah, I figured it was at least different from the GC outpost train. I just wasn't sure what happened to the original outpost train that they have at the start of the run. Because it is roughly the right length, maybe. But it probably doesn't matter as much for us either. We can just do whatever feels most convenient. The advantage of going slower. Really, you're a lot more flexible. Rails, red belt, roboports, signals. I'm missing 3 things that I had before. Splitters, construction bots. Belts were done. Oh, burner drills. Burner drills are definitely not done through base. We honestly might need more burner drills too. Burner drills. Send. Actually, yeah. Produce more. I don't know if we're producing enough burner drills. So we're producing 1.5 per second. 1.8 if we count this one. Actually, maybe close to 2.0. No, it will be 1.8. And we need roughly 900 per outpost. That does fit within our... barely, but that does fit within our 10-minute mark. My to-do list is so long. Well, most of them are just like haven't been deleted. But most of them are just saying, hey, compress fuel. But I'd say a lot of the stuff there is like 1 minute to fix. But they're things I can't fix now until I have a more accurate estimate of resource count, basically. So it's not that it's not a lot of things that need to be done, or it's not a lot of time. It's just a lot of very small tasks that I want to do the important belts first before I worry about those. We could technically get more refineries from our original base. I don't think we need to. Yeah, I don't think total refinery production down here is going to contribute much. Honestly, this looks weird, but we could do a sushi belt going around my entire base. to supplement from the original mall. I don't, it sounds really bizarre, but I think it's technically something that could be done. I don't know if we're desperate for those resources, though. I don't think anything other than maybe this, and this will matter. Yeah, I think, honestly, we'd be better off just grabbing it by hand. I don't think none of this produces a significant amount compared to like 20 lanes of iron. Maybe like we could increase our output by 10 to 20%. But yeah, I really want to do the compressor. I might work on the fuel compressor and distribution next time, because once I have this stuff on the side built, I can mark a lot of things on the list, because I think like 10 of them are related to compressing fuel and connecting fuel and staging fuel. But yeah, that might be it for today. I'm starting to get a bit sore. Is there anything I can do real quick that I forgot to do? This one, yeah, and a lot of them are just like optional. Honestly, a lot of the to-do list is for for if we do a revision of it. Like this, why is that a to-do list item? Just saying, hey, keep stuff for bots to build with. That's silly. Okay, that's a staging thing. That one we've already done, actually. Cool. This is reminding me that we still need to hook up stone. Coal is good, though. Coal is good. More red belt and red underground. Okay, so this is for building the train. I don't think that is the case anymore. So we're going to move this really low to the bottom, because I'm fairly sure that's optional, because I did not realize how much red belt we were producing. When I wrote that, I did not realize we were producing 5 red belt per second or something like that. It's pretty high. Let's see, where is the red belt? I swear we have red belt. Here? 3 red belt per second. Okay, so we're producing 3 red belt per second. Underground, we technically have enough, because I think this works at about half speed. Let's see, what stage can we test that on? I think 2.3 is the testing stage. Yeah. Okay, so if we run the analysis tool here, we can get a general idea of how much we're producing. Can we speed it up? Okay, so this is producing, what would that be? Like, that looks like 60% maybe, right? So that is very slow. That is 1 red belt per 4 seconds. That's rough. Well, what is this? Wait, does the analysis show circuit conditions or something? What is this purple line? That's weird. I don't know what that means. I really do not know what that means. Hello, Deltius. Welcome, welcome. Okay, we'll just get rid of that. Yeah, I don't know what the purple means for that tool. It definitely has a significance. Just no idea what it is. Okay, so we said I'm getting about 1 red belt every 4 seconds. How much do we need for the entire base? Well, more importantly, how much do we need for this section? That is not as bleak as it seems, actually. 600 belt, if we do the whole base, 1200, we'll probably have to add 600 to that. So that's 2000 belt. That's 8,000 seconds. That's 2 hours for that to produce enough underground, which sounds really bad, but honestly, it's not. It would be better for me to look at what it costs for a single train. So we'll say about 150 maybe per train. If we're aiming for 1 train every 5 minutes, that's not enough. That can do enough every 10 minutes. So how much is this one producing? Maybe that's what matters. Is this actually running though? Can we make it run? What's the issue with this one? Are these just backed up? Is it paused? Oh, it's paused. No wonder why it wasn't running. Okay. So this should also, as long as we're only using red undergrounds from here, I think this theoretically produces a fair amount, right? Because this has a lot of spare gears. It actually has like a dedicated gear inserter going into this effectively. Okay, so we'll say we're producing half an underground per second. That can do one every 5 minutes. It's pushing it though. It's definitely pushing it, so we do need another assembler. At least a regular red bell we don't have a problem with. Okay, so we will say red underground assembler near red belt assemblers, and then that should be good enough to get 0.75 per second. That is our goal. That gives us one outpost every 5 minutes with like 50% leeway for us to be using red undergrounds in other parts of our base, or just for connecting some early outposts. Okay, what else? After 8 belts, use supplemental fuel, so that has to do with the left. Yeah, like I said, fuel compressor is a lot of stuff. So this one's good, this one's good. Don't know what 5% more costly means. Oh, I think I was comparing splitter. I don't know what that means. Maybe entity cost. Maybe the cost. Maybe I was looking at the cost of a splitter versus an underground or something. I don't know. But there's probably no logic there. Fixed train logic. Yeah, that's fine. That's something that's hard to do out of staged. Okay, staging. Yeah, most of this is just staging. Okay, this one's good. Underbelt everywhere inserted. Perfect. Solid fuel everywhere in advanced oil. Advanced oil is not done. But that one's pretty obvious that we forgot it, but we might as well keep it. Okay, connect radars after designing outpost train. Okay, cool. Add a bajillion roboports. Awesome. These I'll say optional. We'll move anything that says optional to the very bottom. Speed 2s for labs. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna need speed 2s for labs. I don't know why I thought I might. Redesign outposts. Okay, so that one we actually just need to look at the outposts. Stone brick lane for refineries. Double check. That seems like something we can take care of. That has to do with this lane, which is in fact set up now, or the later one over here, which I don't know if I see. Nope, this one is not hooked up. Okay, so that one is very high priority. Get bricks for base or make more furnaces. Okay, so that probably is the same as this one. Yeah. We'll say that one's done. Bricks for refineries. Steel from OG base or add smelter. There we go. That's pretty clear. Let's see, spare resources to outpost prod. Production. I think that's what we just did, actually. We'll just put that at the bottom. Higher rocket goal. That's later too. Optional. Sulfuric acid to first blue chip lane. That one is done. Supplemental lane to second copper train on right. We did that, actually. Cool. Figure out what the empty lane by military is. What does that mean? I think I tried to figure it out and couldn't. So I just gave up. I think it was steel. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be a steel belt that we never hooked up, because I no longer see an empty lane here. So I think we can say we have done that one, and we just forgot it was on the to-do list. More refineries? No, we do not need more of those. Left side needs 2 more iron trains plus 1 yellow belt. That might still be accurate. Yeah, that's why I've started to add more details in my to-do list, just in like the tasks section, because I've realized it's a problem. Fuel compressor at outpost train is 1 tile too high. I know exactly what that means. Surprisingly. This needs to be one tile to the left, which is going to be annoying. It doesn't look that annoying, but I copy it multiple times. So basically this needs to go one tile lower. I think we need to shift this here. We need to shift this here. And then we need to shift this here. Okay. There we go. I don't remember exactly why we had to do that, but I do remember that we planned to do that for some reason. That was important. Yeah, I could see it being a common problem. That's why annotating code exists, but also, or commenting on code exists, but also that also causes problems, I hear. So it's just one of those, like, you can't win situations. I see now. Oh, I get it. I get why we had to move this down. No, this makes a lot of sense. Because it lets us put a splitter here for the compressor. That makes a lot of sense. Now, this was a terrible one to do this for, because this is designed differently. But that's okay. This one can get an extra splitter. This one's pretty obvious what's happening here. I will use a regular belt. Comments are good until the eventual refactor updates the code, but not the comment. Yeah. Right, that's the issue with them. I figured another issue could just be the comment doesn't make sense. Like with my comments in my to-do list. Okay, so that is fine, but we do need to copy it a few times. Actually, let's just do that now. Huh. I don't know how that's on a different stage. Okay, so this was moved over. This was moved up. Well, I guess up, over, both are kind of accurate there. Okay, and then this we shifted over here. Okay. Yeah, okay, I get it now. It's because with this side line here, when we rotate it to add the splitter would be here. That's not a problem though, is it? Should I be lazy? I'm tempted to be lazy. Because we can just add a fish, right? We can just add a fish filter. And then everything's good. So I don't know. I guess moving it does give us the option to have a second layer for the compressor. So it's not a bad idea to move them down. I think it's still worth it. It's not as essential as I thought initially, but I might as well change it because I think it's worth it overall. It only adds a few more entity cost to each one, but it just makes it so much easier to add the fuel compressor when it's, you know, not just barely clearing the area. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll work with that. I like the flexibility. Okay, and then it's easy enough to cut it and move it down at least. So it's not, this isn't like a large commitment. And then it will be very, very clear where everything is supposed to go later. Like when I do the actual fuel compressor, having these corrected will make that nicer. Okay. I like how I'm cutting like half an underground because it actually is a little bit easier to just cut and paste that than pull out a new one. Okay, now this other side is different. This other side is mirrored. So this one doesn't need to be fixed, I don't think. I don't know if this has the correct version, but it does need to be in a red underground for all the layers that it's on. There we go. Perf. Perfect. But yeah, because this one just goes a different direction for the fuel. Fuel's going up as opposed to towards those. It makes this a lot nicer. And we're using red belt because I'm realizing we need a lot of fuel. Originally, I just had a yellow belt, and that wasn't nearly enough. Okay, so I think we've changed all of them to the point where... Why does this one look different? One of these is correct. But I changed it for all of them just in case. That's the important thing. We can make it work. That's what matters. Okay. So yeah, we're just gonna get the quick ones out of the way. Train's on left side. That's obvious. There's no point for me saying that. Burner inserters to building train. That one I realized was a mistake. We did fix that yesterday, but we noticed they weren't actually connected for a while, and I could not find the belt for the life of me, and I just didn't feel like activating all of them last time. Siren? We don't have any sirens. Okay, that's important. Well, it's not that important, but they're nice to have. Left side needs more. See, I don't know if this is accurate, but I think we're gonna have to get iron from a weird spot, kind of like with copper. We did it on the right side. We never did it on the left, but we're definitely like one iron belt short. Produce top plastic. That's a staging issue. Honestly, there's no point for me. Actually, that's an important one to mention in staging. Same with those, because most staging doesn't matter that much, but like military and plastic are done like 3 stages too late. Building train and other building train. Obvious. Got lap. No, that's no point for that being in the to-do list. Fish for filters. Yeah, okay, that's for personal. I get this one. They use Decon Planner, which blends in with red belt. That just makes it really hard to tell where things are being filtered for me. Okay, bajillion roboports, that's good. Fuel compressor, 1 too high, perfect. Pumps for GC outposts. So that one's on my to-do list because I don't actually know if we'll need them, because we did decrease the amount of fuel we need to the outpost so significantly. Building train, larger for higher throughput. Yes, that's important. Player refill train, also important. Okay, so all the optional stuff is sorted. Okay, so most of this isn't too bad. Honestly, I'd say about a third of that is fuel compressors, and the other one is actually hooking up the belts that we have, which are mostly done. But yeah, we'll work on this more tomorrow. That's it for me today. I hope y'all have a wonderful evening. We're definitely getting close. Like, most of the stuff... I mean, we just marked 15 things off the task list today. Just saying. Because a lot of them are just so minor at this point. We should be pretty close to getting plastic. I would be very surprised if we don't do the run in August. That's my goal, early August. Maybe practice the last week of July, something like that. I think we're definitely on track for that. So we should be able to run it at least once before the expansion comes out. Maybe 2 or 3 times if we don't reach our goal. Do some revisions. But we're definitely on track to beat it before the expansion. So that's exciting. Not like we would have stopped, but it's nice that we don't have to worry about the expansion taking over and making us not want to run this. But yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you all next time.